620 WDAE St. Petersburg, an iHeart radio station. It's Tuesday. From Dade City to Carrollwood and all around Tampa Bay, plus worldwide on iHeartRadio.
The gloves are off. I'm playing hardball. It's 4th and 15, and you're looking at a full-court press.
You're tuned into the voice of the Tampa Bay sports fan.
You're going to like this guy. He's all right. He's a good fella. He's one of us.
Buckle up, because you're on the drive with TKras. Afternoons on 95.3 WDAE and AM 620.
Yeah, welcome aboard on this Fill in the Blank Tuesday. Good afternoon, Tampa Bay. The Drive with TKras. Tom Krasnicki is on the air, presented by Moss Nissan. Great to have you with us. Riding shotgun as always. Chris Mathis in the control room. And we are live in living color at 95.3 on the FM side. The mighty AM 620. Don't forget to download the iHeartRadio app for free. Take us with you wherever you might be headed this holiday season. Crystal clear reception through the app. It is a beautiful thing. And we are streaming. I do believe we're streaming the show so you can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, X, at 953 WDAE. It is exciting, Coach. Like and subscribe all day, every day while it's still working. The phone numbers, you know them, you love them. Now use them, damn it. 888-546-4620. You can text in your thoughts on the Bartow Ford DAE text platform at 82945, where standard message and data rates do apply there. And,
You're on the phone for 3 hours.
Get on the phone, okay? And all guests will appear via the Central Florida Behavioral Health Network DAE hotline. And 1 hour from now, we're going to be joined by Greg Auman, FoxSports.com. You better believe it. He covers the Bucs and the NFC South. We'll talk to him about the surging Bucs, the first-place Bucs, who go out west, young man, this week to take on the LA Chargers, a difficult game there. And we'll also pick his brain, since he covers the NFC South, about Bryce Young and his resurgence. And
I'll have to see me 2 times.
Well, you sacked him a couple weeks ago there, Elijah Cansey. Good job. And you'll get him one more time, so he'll see you again. We'll also talk to Greg Auman about, the faltering Atlanta Falcons, who have dropped 4 in a row. Kirk Cousins, could he get benched? Raheem Morris says no, but I think there at least needs to be a conversation taking place in the facilities of Flowery Branch. Is that where the Falcons headquarters are, Chris Mathis?
No, you're exact. Look at you, Tom. They are. That is where they hold their training camp.
Yeah.
The whole nine. So, yeah, Flowery Branch.
Flowery Branch. So we'll talk to Greg Auman about Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, by the way, is appealing the NFL to play the Bucs at least 2 more times. It's not a laughing matter. 8 touchdowns. What?
Wow, yeah, he needs it, right? His numbers are down since he played the Buccaneers.
Well, consider this, Chris Mathis and everybody else. All right? Kirk Cousins against the Bucs this year. 8 touchdowns, 1 interception. Kirk Cousins against everybody else. 9 touchdowns, 14 interceptions.
Is that a problem?
It is a problem when you're giving the ball away. Last 4 games, 0 touchdowns, 8 picks. He's also been sacked 8 times. Now, the good news for the Falcons, not so much for the Bucs, is that this week, the schedule favors the Falcons and not the Bucs. I mean, this past Sunday, it absolutely favored the Bucs. They got the Raiders at home. They took care of business, even though it didn't look very pretty. In quarters numbers 2 and 3 for the most part, it looked better in the fourth quarter. And the Falcons had a very difficult game. They had to go on the road where they got blitzed, figuratively and literally, by Brian Flores, Sam Darnold, and the Minnesota Vikings, who won that game 42-21. Now, this week, the Falcons are on Monday night against the Raiders, by the way, who just lost Aiden O'Connell, and they're going to be on their third-string quarterback, in essence. Desmond Ridder will go up against his former team on Monday night. That should be interesting.
Slapdick prospect.
He is a slapdick prospect. But the revenge narrative is there. He's going up against a team that cut him loose, the Atlanta Falcons. We'll see if there's anything there. And for the Buccaneers, it's not a very easy game at all as they go out west to take on a Chargers team that got their hearts broken literally in the final seconds against the Chiefs in Arrowhead. And the Chiefs find a way against just about everybody, including the Bucs, by the way. 12-1. 10 of those wins are one-score wins. And the Chargers really played them tough. Justin Herbert got on a heater in that second half. But they fell short. A little boing right at the end that went in the Chiefs. I'm telling you, man, I haven't seen a team as fortunate and as lucky. Look, I think the Chiefs make their own luck, to be quite honest. I mean, you're not 12-1 by accident, right? They're doing a lot of things right. They got a quarterback who is an absolute magician in the pocket. Once he senses the pressure, and his pocket presence is second to none in the NFL. Once he senses, and he's got that spidey sense, when that pressure is coming, he eludes it. He buys time. He gets outside of the pocket, and the receivers do a good job of working with him. You got to come back to the ball when you see the quarterback in duress. They have a great understanding of that. None so better than Travis Kelce, where he sat down there right in that open space on that big third down play, made the catch, and then they set up the field goal and boing.
Yeah, what would they called it? The doink for the division is what they were calling it on the broadcast.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. And as far as Patrick Mahomes, once he breaks out that little pump fake while he's on the move, good luck, Charlie, because you're not stopping him. He's going to find a receiver or tuck and run and pick up a big first down.
He knows what he's doing, and they know how to win close games. The good teams know how to win close games. The good teams know how to pull it out when they don't have their A game going, and the Chiefs have been doing it just about every week. Now, in my opinion, I think they're living dangerously, and in the playoffs, I think Buffalo's a team that's ripe to pick them off. They've already beaten Kansas City once this year already. But when you look at the AFC, and we'll get into this in terms of the Bucs and the NFC too, but when you look at the AFC and the environment there, how many teams can legitimately beat Kansas City? I think Buffalo can. I actually think Pittsburgh has a shot to do it as well because I think they're well coached. Russell Wilson is playing good football. He's taking care of the ball. They could run the football a little bit as well. I don't think the Texans can do it. And I actually think the Chargers might be able to do it. Even they played them really, really tough this past week. Really tough. They've got the coaching. They've got the quarterback. They've got the terrific defense. I think any one of those teams could beat them. Really. And in the NFC, it's kind of wide open. We talked yesterday about the Eagles. What a disgrace that locker room is. A.J. Brown's a disgrace. Here you are. You've won 9 in a row, and all you can think about are your stats. Shame. He should be ashamed of himself. I don't care. Just win my targets. Target this. It's about the team. Your team is 11-2. I just don't get it, man.
He's a bum.
He is a bum. You got the Lions. The Lions are very good. And I'm telling you, man, the Vikings are 11-2, and not many people are paying attention to them, but they've won 6 in a row. And Sam Darnold has entered the MVP conversation based on what he's done the last couple of weeks. I don't think anybody out west is worth anything. The 49ers, with all their injuries, they got a really big game, by the way, Thursday. We've seen a lot of good Thursday night games. And we'll see another one this week between the Rams and the 49ers. Big, really big. I think the Niners season's on the line. They just have so many injuries. There's so many key players. And it's really hard to go out there and field a competitive team when you're missing so many players who are difference makers. So that's a big Thursday night game. As for the Bucs, though, 4 games left. Can they hold on to first place? Can they clean up some of those mistakes that have plagued them? That is a subject of our opening drive.
Start the engine. Gas to the floor. Here's the opening drive.
Well, there's nothing to grunt about, Todd Bowles. By the way, we're taking you up until 5 o'clock, and then it's Buccaneer Total Access with the head coach, Todd Bowles. Not at this time, no. But at 5 o'clock, you'll be on deck, and I'm sure a lot of people want to hear what you have to say. Mr. Excitement himself. Now, yesterday, Todd Bowles delivered a not so – look, he's not like his good friend Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians will just call people out. He called out Tom Brady after the very first game that Brady had in a Bucs uniform. Oof is right. Probably not the smart thing to do there. But in essence, that caused a little bit of a rift between Brady and Arians, as some of you may or may not know at this point. I don't want to go down that road, but, sometimes Bruce Arians, will let you know. And I think at the time when he took over the Bucs in 2019, that's exactly what the Bucs needed. They didn't have anybody that held people accountable. And Bruce Arians helped establish that chemistry, that atmosphere, that culture where, listen, I don't care what happened here before I walked through that door, but whatever took place in those previous years, Lovie Smith, Dirk Cutter, this guy, that guy, Greg Schiano, who didn't belong in the NFL, I'm putting a stop to that right now because that's nonsense. And Bruce Arians came in, he kicked ass, he took names. He's exactly what the Buccaneers needed when he took over in 2019 because there was no level of accountability, and he held players to it. And then once Brady got here in 2020, he took that culture to an entirely different level because now the Buccaneers had a guy on the inside in that locker room that been there and done that. He was a legend in Tom Brady who knew what it took mentally and physically to prepare for every practice, every training camp, every regular season game, every playoff game, how to prepare for the Super Bowl. He guided them through all of those obstacles. And he did it incredibly well, as we all know. But Todd Bowles is not going to call people out. He'll try and do it in a, subtle sort of way. I thought it was interesting when he was asked yesterday about Baker Mayfield's turnovers as of late and what needs to be done in order to reverse that trend. Here's the head coach on that.
We got to understand, especially when we're in the red zone and we're in the scoring territory, we can't turn it over. That's number one. You don't like the turnovers, period. Every now and then they can happen, but we got to do a better job taking care of the football as an offensive staff, period, between the coaches and the players. We need to do a better job of focusing on exactly what we want to get done, how we need to get it done, and make sure we execute it every play. It's not just on Baker, it's on everybody.
So he didn't just say, hey, Baker, stop turning it over in the red zone, but he was kind of saying, stop turning it over in the red zone. And he had another one on Sunday. Stop turning it over in the red zone. But he said, listen, it's on the offense. It's on everybody. I'm not just putting it on Baker. I'm putting it on everybody. That's
He's trying to stir
no, look, I'm just saying. That was Todd Bowles' subtle way of saying, hey, when we get down there, you got to be more mindful of the football. Let's get at least 3. Let's not have an empty possession or, worse yet, have a turnover. We can't have that. That's basically what he's saying. So he's telling Baker Mayfield in an anti-Arians type of way, once we get down there, if it's not there, throw it away. Live to fight another down, as Tom Brady would say. Stop turning it over down there in the red zone. By the way, I found it very interesting. We talked about Kirk Cousins and all of his turnovers, and there have been a lot of them. Kirk Cousins is tied with guess who for the most fumbles this season with 12. Do you know the answer, Chris Mathis?
It isn't Baker Mayfield, is it?
You're trying to stir
That is correct.
Wow, 12 fumbles for Baker? I knew it was close to 10. I didn't realize it was 12.
Baker and Kirk Cousins are tied for the NFL lead with the most fumbles. They haven't lost all of them, but they've had 12 fumbles.
Over the last couple of weeks, Tom, it feels like Baker isn't very comfortable in the pocket. Even though he had the time, it seems as if
you know what the
he's
problem
trying to
is?
rush.
Where's the football?
I don't know. Go grab it.
Now
should be to your
we're
left.
on the stream. Where's the football?
I don't know. Should be there on the left. But it seems like Baker kind of causes unnecessary drama in the pocket over the last couple of weeks.
Well, I don't see it around here.
I don't see it in here either.
They probably ate it. Who knows?
Ah, come on, man.
No. They insulted him a little bit.
All right.
I'm going to insult anybody, but the problem with Baker, and I've said this, I don't know, about 1,000 times, he gets happy feet and he pats the ball. The more time he has to throw, the worse off it is for him. He's a rhythm thrower. 1,000, 2, 1,000, boom, the ball is out. And I think Liam Cohen can facilitate that by putting Baker in a more beneficial situation where let's run maybe some no huddle. Let's run some hurry up. Let's up the tempo a little bit. Let's get him into a rhythm. Let's get him some quick throws, some easy throws, some slants, some square ins with Cade Otton down the middle of the field. Mike Evans, obviously, on the outside. I think when Baker gets into a rhythm and the ball's coming out quick and he's reading things, I think he's a much more effective quarterback. When he's standing back there and he's patting the ball, he's like this. No good. Nothing good comes of it. And we've seen it many times. I don't know if you can hear that. The gnats.
Oh, yeah. No, we can hear that.
That's happy feet. Happy feet. Happy feet equals sad plays. So we don't want that. And I think the way to do that is run the ball, play action, get him into a rhythm, maybe run some hurry up. I think that's the way to kind of put him in a better position to succeed. But I just thought that was kind of an interesting quote from Todd Bowles yesterday. He wasn't taking a shot at Baker. He was just saying, stop turning the ball over. He was not taking a shot at Baker by kind of indirectly taking a shot at Baker. And it would help, obviously, is if the running game continue their ascent. And right now the Buccaneers are top 8 in running the football, which is an incredible turnaround from each of the previous 2 years where they were dead last. Now, Bucky Irving went out of the game with a back injury, and Bowles was asked, hey, are you concerned about Bucky's injured back?
It's tightened up. We got to see how we feel. If we can get it loosened up, he should be okay. If not, we'll see how the week goes.
Don't do nothing stupid.
Oh, man. He needs a massage. I don't know what. He needs to loosen up that back, but he's got the hip and he's got the foot. So Bucky's got all sorts of injuries that he's working through. It's late in the year. We're getting into week 15 of the NFL where no one's really 100%. Speaking of the injuries, and there's so many of them, you know about Antoine Winfield Jr., knee injury. He's down at least a couple of weeks. It's a sprained knee. And Jordan Whitehead's down. Hamstring injury is Mike Edwards down. Bucky Irving is hurt. Tristan Wirfs is playing through a sprained MCL. So a lot of fans are wondering, hey, what the hell is going on with all these injuries? Todd Bowles was asked about the injuries, and a couple of them had popped up during practice during the week. What about it?
I wish I could tell you. We had the schedule last year. We were one of the healthiest teams in the league, and we had the exact same schedule. And this year, we got people injured doing that. So we're taking a look at everything. We're trying to find if there's a common denominator and things that we can do better on Friday. But we had the same schedule last year. Everybody was commending us for being one of the healthiest teams in the league.
So they really haven't done anything different. But if you have noticed, and I know I have, Greg Auman has, because he's there every day, and Greg will join us at 4:05. We'll talk to him about it. There have been some injuries that have popped up during practice during the week. Antoine Winfield Jr., remember a couple of weeks ago. Tyke Smith. And that was kind of a freakish injury. He bumped knees with somebody. It was just totally random. So sometimes, a lot of people, undoubtedly, that's going to give the Bulls here, it's Todd Bowles' fault. He's running him into the ground. No, he's not. Because on Wednesdays, and Greg Auman will tell you, and they go up there and tell you, Greg Auman will tell you, Wednesdays, it's a walkthrough. Thursdays, it's more of a full practice. Fridays, it's what Todd Bowles has referenced as a glorified walkthrough. It's late in the year. Todd Bowles knows that, you know what? you got to keep these guys fresh. You can't run them into the ground like what Greg Schiano used to do back in the day. And you got to keep them fresh for game days. So we'll talk to Greg Auman coming up at 4:05. Look, it is what it is. The Bucs were very fortunate last year when it came to the injury situation. This year, kind of like a lot of teams from around the league, the 49ers are one of them. They come to mind, a team that's just been ravaged by injuries, but every team is dealing with injuries, and the Buccaneers are trying to make the best of it. Look, considering all the injuries, the inconsistent play, for the Buccaneers to be 7-6 right now is fantastic. It really is. Because I don't think they're a great team. And I know, even the most diehard fans will admit privately, like, this is not the greatest team. They're an average-ish type of team. Some good moments, some not so good moments. They've been very inconsistent in some areas. Defense bend but don't break. Offense, running game coming along, but sometimes there are penalties. Sometimes there are turnovers at inopportune times. They're an average-ish type of team. And when you couple that with all the injuries that they've had, the head coaches we know, not exactly Vince Lombardi, being 7-6 through 13 weeks or through 13 games is actually not bad. It's not bad. Look, they're first place. So I'm looking at some of the positives here. 888-546-4620. So at times, and look, I want to play this because I know we got to go to break, Chris Mathis. No one ever needs a break. So at times on Sunday, the way the Buccaneers were dealing with Brock Bowers, and they had to do this out of necessity because they had a lot of linebackers hurt. KJ Britt, JJ Russell, they were both out. So there were times where the Buccaneers played with just one linebacker and Levante David, and they had Merriweather, they had Izzian, they had Tyke Smith on the field. They had all these defensive backs on the field to try and deal with Brock Bowers, and it worked. And head coach Todd Bowles was asked about that alignment yesterday.
Smoke and mirrors. We have a couple packages that were kind of unorthodox in that we've been practicing. The safeties do a good job filling in at linebacker. They had a very good tight end as well, so we had to cover them, and then we had to try and stop the run with that same package. And I thought between Izzy, Merriweather, Tyke.
And I think the Buccaneers could afford to come out in that alignment because you have a big defensive tackle in Vita Vea who occupies multiple blockers. You got Kalijah Cantu who's also making plays. And Yaya Diaby and Anthony Nelson do a good job of setting the edge. So their front four does a decent job of staying in their lane, so to speak. And that would allow Todd Bowles to kind of play around. And look, he has to do it out of necessity because he doesn't have healthy bodies. Kind of like what the Rays did a couple of years ago when they unveiled the opener strategy. They had all these injuries to their starting pitchers, and all of a sudden, well, it's like, okay, we're going to have a reliever start the game, and then we're going to follow him up with somebody else who's the complete exact opposite. So if a righty starts, and then they'll bring in a lefty, one guy throws hard, the other guy does not, and it was effective. It kept teams off balance. I'm not saying that Todd Bowles and the Rays are, splitting the atom, so to speak, in terms of strategy out there. But sometimes in a time of duress, you have to get innovative. And look, the Bucs did it and they got away with it. But coming out of one linebacker and like in a dime setting, you're also susceptible to the run, which may not really hurt them this week because the Chargers, without J.K. Dobbins, they can't run the ball too well. I will talk to Greg Auman about all things Bucs coming up at 4:05. We have Fill in the Blank coming up at 4:30. Between the Bucs and the Falcons, blank will win the NFC South. That's coming up at 4:30. We'll take you up until 5 o'clock, and then it's Buccaneer Total Access with the head coach, Todd Bowles. Great to have you with us. The Drive with yours truly, Chris Mathis there. You there. We'll take your calls, your texts coming up. More on the Bucs in the NFL in a matter of moments. On the way back, oh, man, here we go again. Another interesting twist in the Rays Stadium saga. You're not going to believe who stuck his nose into their business. It might be a good thing, though. I'll explain next.
You're locked in to The Drive with TKras.
It is a drive and is presented by my guys over at Moss Nissan, where their goal is to never lose your business over price. Yours truly is here along with CM Punk, Chris Mathis, and the holidays are here too. Moss Nissan is doing whatever it takes to make this season unforgettable with your shot at, get this, up to $5,000 in holiday cash, Chris.
It's as easy as this, Tampa Bay. Visit any Moss Nissan location, pick out a new or even a pre-owned vehicle. Once that deal is done, grab an envelope from their holiday tree.
It's as easy as that, and inside that envelope, you can score anywhere from $500 in cash to $5,000 in holiday cash. With over $30,000 on the line, Moss Nissan is bringing that holiday magic.
So don't miss your chance at the big win, up to $5,000 in holiday cash. Head to Moss Nissan today.
They've got 3 locations in the Tampa Bay area: North Tampa, Newport Richey, and Brooksville. By the way, we're going to be at the Moss Nissan location in Newport Richey for Thursday's show. I'll be out there doing our show from 3 until 7 on Thursday. Looking forward to it.
Plus, you Christmastown.
Partly sunny, high 80 degrees this afternoon. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 67. Tomorrow, windy with thunderstorms, high 75, low 41 Wednesday night, and high just 64 on Thursday. Get weather info around the clock by searching News Radio WFLA on iHeartRadio. I'm Amy Snyder.
It's only 15 days until Christmas. See the holidays come to life at Tampa's biggest and brightest holiday celebration, Busch Gardens Christmastown, included with park admission and happening now through January 5th.
For more information about contests on this station, go to 953wdae.com/rules. Strap in and buckle up. This is The Drive with TKras, brought to you by Moss Nissan on WDAE.
Well, I think it starts with the Rays picking up the phone and starting to talk to people. And, talking to the two new members. I mentioned that I'm a big, baseball and Rays fan.
That's Chris Ladvala from the Pinellas County Commission when he was on our show a couple of weeks ago. And yes, communication. We need more of it. As we welcome you back, it's The Drive with yours truly, 3:35 and your ride home on this Fill in the Blank Tuesday. Fill in the Blank, by the way, coming up at 4:30. That should be interesting. The Ray Stadium situation is blank. I can think of a few words which will get me kicked out of here and fined by the FCC. But we're not going to go down that road, at least not right now. But there is news. There's always news, my goodness. And there's always things going on, and I can tell you, okay, this is a fact. There are things happening behind closed doors that we're not privy to. And I've been told of a couple of things that I'm not going to put out there right here, right now. Let's wait and see what happens next week, because a week from today, the Pinellas County Commission will meet. Now, they have postponed the bond vote twice. It'll be interesting to see what they do next week. Chris Ladvala and everybody else. After the St. Pete City Council approved their part of the bonds. But Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred apparently has something to say about it. He was in town a couple of days ago, and he met with Pinellas County officials yesterday. And they talked about, the vote on the bonds. They talked about the Rays situation altogether. Now, the chairperson of the Pinellas County Commission, Kathleen Peters, says she met with Manfred to, quote, talk through the situation, unquote. Manfred requested the meeting, and it was arranged through Peters' office. The Rays were not there at this meeting. Tampa Bay Times, Colleen Wright, who's done a really good job of covering this entire fiasco. I'm sure she's doing it with a lot of Excedrin handy. But Peters said in a text message to the Tampa Bay Times about the meeting with Manfred, quote, it went fine. He spoke of his support of the deal and the fans, unquote. That sounds kind of vague to me. Is it possible that Rob Manfred is trying to put some pressure on? I can tell you this, okay, and this is not really news to those in the know. Rob Manfred and Stu Sternberg have not seen eye to eye recently. I'll just say that. And I think that was quite evident with the whole two-stadium Montreal deal that Major League Baseball really didn't care for. The Players Union, they had something to say about it. They thought it was a really bad idea. I think we all did at the time. And that's where some angst, some friction started to develop. I think it was kind of always there, but it really started to ramp up in intensity between Stu and Commissioner Manfred. So the fact that Manfred was in town trying to, I don't know, maybe become an arbiter, maybe become an intermediary. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to see this through the lens of everybody. And what I want to do is to have an amicable solution to this entire problem. And the amicable solution that I think benefits everybody is the Rays staying here in Tampa Bay. And I think I've made that abundantly clear. Now, I had this wish to have Chris Latvala and the Rays in here in studio. But that's not going to happen. I put it out there. I tried. By the way, the Pinellas County Commission, with that vote coming next Tuesday, I think we may reach out maybe for Monday, Chris Mathis, because I'm only here Monday, Tuesday of next week.
Right.
Let's see how this week goes, but maybe Chris Latvala might be back on this show.
Yeah, early next week. That's the game plan.
Yes. So that's what we're thinking at this time. So this is something that bears watching. I just find it interesting that Rob Manfred was here, was talking to Pinellas County officials about it, and he has made it abundantly clear, by the way, that no matter who might own this team, whether it's Stu or anybody else, who knows, that's still very much up in the air, but there have been rumblings about that I've intimated on this here program over the last 2 years or so, that he is not taking this team out of Tampa Bay. Rob Manfred has made it clear they are staying here. And Major League Baseball is not stupid, not at least when it comes to this. I can't speak for some of the other decisions that they've made. But when it comes to this, they know that the Tampa Bay region is a vibrant one. It is continuing to grow. Obviously, you look around, you see the infrastructure, new Howard Franklin Bridge, a lot of our highways are being improved upon because so many people are moving here, 3.5 to 4 million people encompassing all of the Tampa Bay region, the number 11 television market. So they don't want to leave. There are 30 markets in Major League Baseball, and the Tampa Bay television market is number 11. They're not stupid. They know that the television ratings are high. The radio ratings, by the way, is also sky high. No thanks to Neil Solondz. But I'm only joking.
No. You insulted him a little
I heard from Neil over the weekend. He's like, hey, happy birthday. Hope you had a great birthday. Oh. Neil Solondz here. I love Neil. He's great. Chris Adams-Wall, the great Andy Freed. I mean, the ratings on the radio side are very good. I can tell you that. And they have been for years. The ratings on the television side are always really, really good. And that's for a lot of different reasons. I think a lot of people would much rather watch a game at home than go to the games. I mean, the attendance at the Trop, speaks volumes. And that's for a lot of different reasons. But that's probably one of them. So Major League Baseball does not want to abandon this market. And it's going to take something extraordinary for, I think, the Rays to leave here. So from that standpoint, you have to feel good that the commissioner is going to great lengths in order to maybe facilitate a deal, be a peacemaker, be an arbitrator, and to try and keep the Rays here in Tampa Bay. So stay tuned. 888-546-4620. Text at 82945. You people on the text platform. Tampa is the golden at-bat city, Manfred said. That is a terrible, terrible idea. The golden at-bat, whatever the hell they're calling that idea, awful. One of the worst ideas I've heard in many, many years. All right, when we come back, we're going to be constructing a W. The Lightning are back in action tonight. We'll preview that matchup. We're going to let you know what's on tonight. Also, I got a big problem with the college football playoff format. Big problem. I'm going to tell you what that is next here on The Drive. Chanel!
You're locked in to The Drive with TKras.
Guys, the holiday season is here, and if you want to make her jaw drop, I'm talking about your wife, your girlfriend, if you're looking to pop the big question, only one place to go. The Golden Diamond Source. They have the perfect piece to show her. She's one of a kind, and if you're looking for a gift that says forever, you can find stunning engagement rings, diamond bracelets, and a whole lot more at the Golden Diamond Source because she deserves the best. Don't settle for anything less than perfection. At the Golden Diamond Source, we make it easy to give her the gift that she will never forget. The Golden Diamond Source has an expert staff that will help you find the perfect gift for everyone without dealing with all that mall madness. From statement necklaces to elegant diamond earrings, head on down to the Golden Diamond Source. It's like shopping in like 4 or 5 jewelry stores under one roof. Steve and Julie Weintraub, they've been at this for a long time. It's the only place to shop for that gift of a lifetime. Plus, guys, you can finance your purchase. You'll get 0% interest up to 5 years. You get a $5,000 diamond and pay only $84 a month. It's cheap. Visit the Golden Diamond Source today, where you'll always find the perfect gift this holiday season. They'll also wrap it up and make you look real nice, Clark. So check them out, 3800 Omerton Road in Clearwater.
See Pro Desk for details. MVP's Pro Rewards program subject to terms.
The Drive is live with TKras on 95.3 WDAE and AM 620. Constructing a W, presented by CMK Construction.
And here he is. He's our guy, CM Punk 2.0, Chris Mathis.
All right, Tampa Bay, your Lightning will take on the Edmonton Oilers on the road. Tom, take it away with Tampa Bay.
It's a 9 o'clock face-off time out west, and the Lightning are coming off a really nice win the other night to begin this road trip. They won to Vancouver, and they won that game 4-2. You know, Nikita Kucherov is back. And how about that line between Jake Gensel and Cooch and Blackjack Braden Point? That has to be one of the best lines in all of hockey. They combined for 8 points in the win at Vancouver. Braden Point had a 4-point performance, so it's a powerhouse line, and that line continues to propel the Lightning, and I'm hoping it continues tonight.
Both teams on a 2-game winning streak. While we could easily talk about Connor McDavid, who's having another really good year there for Edmonton. You look at Leon Draisaitl, has scored 7 goals, dished out 7 assists over his last 14 games. He's going to be a guy to watch out for if your Lightning want to pull off a victory on the road tonight.
We construct a W each and every day at this time, courtesy of my guys over at CMK Construction, proudly serving Tampa Bay and Sarasota communities. Call them today, 813-321-4426, or visit them online at cmkconstructioninc.com. CMK Construction, the kitchen and bath experts. Together, we'll make tomorrow brighter.
What's on tonight with The Drive with TKras?
Yes, sir. It is brought to you by our guy, John Howard, and his amazing team at howardteamhomeloans.com. Here's our guy once again, Chris Mathis.
Yeah, Bolts, of course, taking on the Oilers, 9 o'clock faceoff. But right here on WDAE, we've got Todd Bowles, head coach of your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It should be exciting from 5 until 6 o'clock. Bucs Total Access right here on DAE. Also, check out the Drive podcast on the iHeartRadio app. It's all free. It's commercial-free. Search The Drive.
He's a bum.
Todd Bowles is coming up at 5 o'clock. We got Greg Auman coming up as well. At 4:05, we'll talk Bucs and NFL. He covers the NFC South for FoxSports.com. So yesterday on a Victory Monday, I didn't get a chance to dive into this. But the college football playoff bracket, and look, I'm glad it's 12 teams, but obviously there were a lot of complaints about Alabama not making it. Miami got pushed out. You know, Alabama got blown out by Oklahoma, and Miami, you know, lost a couple of really bad games. I mean, blowing a 21-0 lead against Syracuse was unforgivable. So they have no one else to blame. Honestly, the team that probably should have a beef is South Carolina, because they had won 6 in a row. And if you look at their resume, you know, South Carolina's resume is not bad, man. And the committee has made it clear that the one thing that they look at is strength of schedule. South Carolina's strength of schedule is number 13 in the entire country. So they may have a beef there. They played good teams. They've beaten some good teams. They're one of the hottest teams down the stretch. Unfortunately, they're on the outside looking in. Ditto Alabama and ditto Miami. SMU making it. Some people have a problem with that. But here's the problem that I have when you look at this college football playoff bracket. Oh, man. Look, Boise State has an incredible player in Ashton Jeanty, who's a finalist for the Heisman. Wonderful player. Electrifying player. He'll finish second. I think Travis Hunter will win the Heisman. But to have Boise State as a number 3 seed and a first-round bye is a joke as far as I'm concerned. Now, look, it's the first year of this college football 12-team format, so there are some hiccups with the system. There are some things that they need to refine. There's no doubt about that, okay? I think if you win your conference tournament, yes, you belong in the top 12, but you should not get a top 4 seed in a first-round bye. Boise State does not belong in that conversation. Sorry. Their strength of schedule, 78. If you've seen their schedule, you know how bad it is? It's bad. Oregon State, Utah, Nevada. Give me a break. And they're number 3? So they're the number 3 seed, while other teams like, I don't know, Ohio State's better than them. I think Tennessee's better than them. Even though James Franklin has won a big game, I think Penn State's better. I think Notre Dame's better. And the other thing is that, and I know we're going to talk to Barrett Sallee tomorrow about this, what is the incentive for finishing with the best record and the number 1 overall seed if you're going to put Oregon in such a tough spot, whereas they have to face the winner of Tennessee, Ohio State? Meanwhile, Boise State is sitting there with a number 3 seed, and they're facing the winner of Penn State, SMU. Come on. They should do it how they do it in the NFL playoffs. If you're the top seed, you face the lowest remaining seed that's there remaining after the first round of games. That's how they should do it. And the number 2 seed should face the second lowest, third lowest for 3, 4, what have you. Georgia is the 2 seed, and they have a clearer path to the semifinals. They're in the semifinals. They got to face the winner of Notre Dame and Indiana. None of those teams are going to beat Georgia. Now, they got a backup quarterback. Carson Beck got banged up, but their defense is still top-notch, and they got Kirby Smart as a head coach. But Georgia's path as a 2 seed is easier than that of Oregon, who's the number 1 team in the country and the number 1 seed. And Boise State should not have a first-round bye as a 3rd seed. Give me a break. You win your conference tournament, fine, even if it's the Mountain West. Oh, boy, murderer's row, right? Yes, you belong in the top 12, but they should be reseeded in terms of, okay, what's your record? Even though your record is good, you didn't play anybody. Your strength of schedule is not nearly as good as just about every other team that's in this playoff. Yeah. All right, 1 hour down. I need to cool down. By the way, guys, you can log on to the contest page at 953wda.com for your shot to beat the pro this Friday on The Drive. You could qualify for a 5-night stay in an oceanfront suite plus airfare, food, a free round of golf at the beautiful Buccaneer Resort down in St. Croix. Hit up the contest page now and register to beat the pro on Tampa Bay's home for football, 95.3 WDAE at AM 620. All right, coming up, Buccaneers are in first place, 4 weeks to go. Can they hold off the Falcons? What about all these injuries? We'll talk to Greg Auman, who covers the Bucs in the NFC South for FoxSports.com. You will join us next.
You're tuned in to The Drive with TKras.
Guys, it is The Drive. It is presented by my guys over at Moss Nissan, where their goal is to never lose your business over price. Chris Mathis is here, and the holidays are here, too. And guess what? Moss Nissan is doing whatever it takes to make this season unforgettable with your shot at up to $5,000 in holiday cash. What's going on there, Chris Mathis?
Here is the game plan. Go visit any Moss Nissan location. You'll pick out a new or pre-owned vehicle, and once your deal is done, grab an envelope from their holiday tree.
And inside the envelope, you can score anywhere from $500 to $5,000 in holiday cash. With over $30,000 on the line, Moss Nissan is bringing the holiday magic.
So don't miss your chance at the big win, up to $5,000 in holiday cash. Head to Moss Nissan today.
3 locations, Tampa, Newport Richie, or Brooksville. Will be live, by the way. The Drive will originate from the Newport Richie Moss Nissan location this coming Thursday from 3 until 7, so we'll look for you guys there. Moss Nissan doing whatever it takes to make your holidays epic. Merry Christmas. And the holiday season, by the way, is on over at the Golden Diamond Source, where you can make a jaw drop, guys, if you're looking for that one-of-a-kind gift for your wife, your girlfriend. You're looking to pop the big question. You got to head on over to the Golden Diamond Source. And speaking of which, if you're looking for that gift that says forever, you can find stunning engagement rings, diamond bracelets, and more at the Golden Diamond Source because, guys, she deserves the best. Don't settle for anything less than perfection. At the Golden Diamond Source, we make it easy to give a gift that she will never forget. The Golden Diamond Source says the perfect gift for everyone on your holiday gift list without dealing with all that mall madness. From statement necklaces to elegant diamond earrings, the Golden Diamond Source is the only place to shop for that gift of a lifetime. Finance your purchase today, guys, with 0% interest up to 5 years. You can get a $5,000 diamond and pay $84 a month. So this holiday season, visit the Golden Diamond Source today, where you'll always find the perfect gift. They're at 3800 Omerton Road in Clearwater, always online at goldendiamond.com. Tell them TKras
playing hardball. It's 4th and 15, and you're looking at a full court press.
You're tuned into the voice of the Tampa Bay sports fan.
You're going to like this guy. He's all right. He's a good fella. He's one of us.
Buckle up, because you're on the drive with TKras. Afternoons on 95.3 WDAE and AM 620.
I wish I could tell you, we had the schedule last year. We were one of the healthiest teams in the league, and we had the exact same schedule. And this year, we got a lot of people injured doing that. So we're taking a look at everything. We're trying to, if there's a common denominator and things that we can do better on Friday. But we had the same schedule last year. Everybody was commending us for being one of the healthiest teams in the league.
Now they're not. Todd Bowles and the Buccaneers dealing with a lot of injuries. But to that point, the Bucs are still 7-6. They're in first place in the NFC South with 4 weeks to go. Good afternoon, Tampa Bay. Welcome back. 4:07 on your ride home on this Fill in the Blank Tuesday. It's The Drive with yours truly, TKras. Presented by Moss Nissan, by the way. We're going to be at Moss Nissan of Newport Richie, by the way, on Thursday's show from 3 until 7. So we look forward to seeing all of you losers out there. I'm just kidding. I want to see everybody out there.
No. You insulted him a little
It's
bit.
an affectionate term more than anything else. So
all right.
We've got...
you got any more T-shirts, maybe?
Yes, I think we do.
Okay, there you go. Some Drive T-shirts.
I think we do. Aaron Jacobson told me he had some sort of appearance last week, and he gave away T-shirts, and people were just raving about them. The Drive T-shirts are awesome. So we should have a few on hand for the appearance, our show, our remote, if you will. Thursday, we'll be live at Moss Nissan of Newport Richie, 3 until 7 on Thursday. So we look forward to seeing all of you there. We got Fill in the Blank coming up at 4:30. And then coming up at 5 o'clock, Buccaneer Total Access with Todd Bowles.
Not at this time.
No, not at this time. So, Coach, how do you do that show every week?
Smoke and mirrors. Smoke and mirrors.
Let's go to the Central Florida Behavioral Health Network TAE hotline. Learn more at cfbhn.org. He does his job through Smoke and Mirrors as well. He's actually one of the best. Greg Auman, who covers the Bucs in the NFC South for FoxSports.com, is with me here. What's up, Greg?
Not too much. Good to be on with you. Hope you're doing well.
I'm doing well, and you were there yesterday for
Smoke and Mirrors. Smoke and Mirrors.
Where Todd Bowles lined up with one linebacker and a whole bunch of defensive backs, and it worked. They slowed down Brock Bowers, but they had to do so out of necessity because of all these injuries, right?
Yeah, they're really, in terms of a cluster of injuries, they're really kind of shorthanded between linebacker and safety. Kind of got through Sunday's game and won it, with duct tape, if you will. Not anything conventional, but it got the job done.
They did, and let's talk about some of these injuries. Antoine Winfield Jr., what an awful year. He signs the big contract, hurts his foot in game one, misses a few weeks after that, comes back, doesn't really look like himself, and now he's got this knee injury, so how long will he be out?
Yeah, I think Todd talked the other day and said it was a couple of weeks. Couple usually think of as at least 2. Not going on IR right now. Certainly could be back, end of the season, the last 2 home games there, post-Christmas, if you will. But hard to know. Antoine hasn't been himself all season. Had the ankle early. You think about how much he had last year in terms of maybe being the best safety in the NFL. Ton of splash plays. No forced fumbles this year, no interceptions, just hasn't been the same. Whether that's injury related or not, they'll miss him just the same. As down as he's been compared to last year, they'll miss him on the back end, and it adds to the list of safeties they're playing without right now.
Yeah, no Antoine Winfield Jr. Jordan Whitehead is on IR. Mike Edwards, they got him back now. He's out with a hamstring injury. Kayvon Merriweather stepped in. He was great. Chris Isian is a reliable guy, a guy that they've cross-trained, and, they're getting through it with a lot of these guys, and it just goes to show, I guess, maybe the depth of this team is probably a little bit better than we had originally thought, huh?
Yeah, I think it's one of those where you have to get by. So, linebacker, you think about linebackers. Inside linebacker, they carry 4 on the roster, and 3 of them are out with injury right now. So, you're going well beyond even practice squad depth just to get by. Today they signed Deion Jones, who's a guy who's been a starter in the league but hasn't played it down this year. I think they're kind of hoping he can come in, pick things up quickly, and just be another guy they can trust to be out there and just kind of get by with.
Greg Auman is with us. He covers the Bucs in the NFC South for FoxSports.com. He's on the drive here on this Tuesday. Buccaneers and the Chargers Sunday, 4:25 out in L.A., Greg. This is the only team remaining on their schedule with a winning record. They lost a heartbreaker, the Chargers did, to the Chiefs on Sunday night. So how do you look at this matchup?
I mean, best scoring defense in the NFL. It starts there. Really tough defense. I think they're giving up 2 points a game lower than anybody else in the league. Not a great offense, but I mean, Justin Herbert has thrown 1 interception all season. So easily the most challenging in their remaining games. If they can pull it off, if they can, play better than they have the last 2 weeks and get the win on the road, it really sets them up. Because after this, you got some depleted bad teams in Dallas and in Carolina and New Orleans. But Atlanta kind of has an easier game. Atlanta has the Raiders this week. So as much as was made of Tampa Bay getting to first place and now being in first place, that could flip on Sunday. And it could be the Falcons are back on top with 3 games to go. Falcons probably have a tougher final 3 weeks, but if you're the Bucs, you don't want to relinquish this. You want to stay in front and close it out, down the stretch here, playing from the lead in this division.
Well, they control their own destiny, so that's a great place to be. But as you mentioned, I talked about this after the game Sunday and yesterday. It can easily flip next week because the Falcons have the Raiders with a third-string backup, and the Bucs have a much more difficult game. And, the Falcons could win and the Bucs could lose, and we might be square one by this time next week with the Falcons, of course, holding that tiebreaker. But I want to ask you about the Falcons, too, because Kirk Cousins is really struggling, and I think there needs to be a conversation about Michael Penix. Do you think that will take place if he does struggle again this week?
Yeah, I actually wrote that yesterday, just making the case for making a change. It's been a rough patch for Kirk Cousins. I mean, no touchdowns, 8 interceptions in the last 4 games. There really hasn't been a stretch like that in the NFL. I think Favre was the last one that had a stretch that bad, and that's 19 years ago. So the nice thing is they have Michael Penix there. It certainly sounds like, in listening to what Raheem Morris has said, both after the game and again after the fact, they say they're sticking with Kirk Cousins, but I mean, this is one of those weird things where, Kirk got to go up against his old team last week. Now he goes up against probably the quarterback that he replaced in the Des Ridder's, probably the guy that's going for Las Vegas this week. You lose to him, even out there against a bad team. You wonder that could be a final strike against him. They've put such a huge amount of money into Kirk Cousins in terms of $90 million guaranteed. But you have another option. You put the number 8 overall pick into a quarterback, and it seems like it'd be silly to lose on the strength of the quarterback when you have another option there, even if you don't know what that option might actually be.
And another concern with the Falcons is defensively, Greg. My goodness. I mean, they gave up a ton of yards to Minnesota. Sam Darnold had 5 touchdown passes, coverage busts in the secondary. I mean, the Falcons obviously got to clean up a lot of issues on their back end, too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, everybody's making a big deal out of Kirk Cousins having no touchdowns and 8 interceptions in the last 4 games. But like the opposing quarterbacks against Atlanta in that same span have 11 touchdowns and no interceptions. So it's just as drastic in the other direction. Their back end had looked rough. I mean, again, nothing against Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison are both great receivers, but you can't make them look that open and that easy to give Sam Darnold 5 touchdowns. Yeah, it's one of those where, I think they had high hopes as being a better team, but I think some of the veteran acquisitions they made in terms of Matthew Judon, I don't know if they've all panned out for him. So they have to get right at quarterback, but they got to get right elsewhere, and they have to find a way to kind of win close games. If they can do that, I mean, Falcons have a relatively easy path. 3 of their next 4 are the 3 teams the Bucs just kind of got right against and beat. So beyond them having to play Washington in Week 17, they have a fairly easy schedule as well. But neither team can really afford to lose a game they shouldn't lose right now.
Greg Auman is with me. He covers the Bucs in the NFC South for FoxSports.com. You wrote the article about the Falcons and the Michael Penix, Kirk Cousins quandary. You also wrote a great article about Bryce Young and, the resurgence of the former number 1 overall pick from a couple of years ago. And they just almost beat Philadelphia in Philly on Sunday. So tell us about Carolina's turnaround with their quarterback.
Yeah, it hasn't necessarily resulted in wins. I mean, these last 3, including the Bucs game. I mean, you think about that Tampa Bay game. I mean, he throws that touchdown to Adam Thielen with 30 seconds left, it looks like his moment, home field, win against the defending division champs. That would have really taken him to another place. And, of course, Carolina's defense lets them down and lets the Bucs go down and get a field goal and then win in overtime. But, yeah, I think there's a sense that, you go back 4 or 5 weeks, Bryce Young's on the bench. It took a car accident and an injured thumb for Andy Dalton to go to the bench. But I think Bryce has played a lot better. He's not a world beater just yet. I mean, I think he has exactly 1 touchdown pass in each of these 5 games, but it is 2 wins. Again, if you're Carolina, you're bad enough. You have to take pride in beating the Saints and the Giants. That's what they did. Close losses, almost had the Chiefs, almost had the Bucs, almost had the Eagles. If they can turn some of these close losses into wins down the stretch, I think one way that Bryce can help himself, honestly, is if you get a couple more wins, you're going to put yourself out of range for at least the top tier of quarterbacks that would be available to him at the top of this draft.
All right, I'll get you out on this. So the Bucs at the Chargers Sunday at 4:25, and then Monday night the struggling Falcons visiting the Raiders, who are 2-11. A week from today, Greg Auman, are we talking about the Bucs and the Falcons both being 7-7 and tied once again atop the NFC South?
I think that's more likely than not. I mean, the Bucs could really step up and show something if they get right offensively. I mean, you're going to have to play at a much higher level. This 3 turnover stuff from the other day didn't get a cut it in Los Angeles on Sunday. But if they can get right on offense, their defense has played fairly well against bad competition the last 3 weeks. I still think going into right now they're behind, and they got to kind of play from behind again these last 3 weeks. But if it's going to come down to whether they can take care of business the last 3 games, Dallas, Carolina, New Orleans. And if they do that and Atlanta loses to Washington, the division is still theirs, and they still go home 10-7 as division champs.
All right, he's Greg Auman. You can read him, foxsports.com. He covers the Buccaneers in the NFC South. He does a great job. Greg, I appreciate it as always, my friend. If I don't talk to you, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Thank you, buddy.
Hey, same to you. Take care, man.
You got it. That's the great Greg Auman. So interesting stuff there. I'm really interested in seeing what the Falcons do on Monday night. I think they're going to beat the Raiders. They should, right? Look, if you can't beat a Raiders team that's 2-11 on their third-string backup quarterback, then you shouldn't belong in the playoff conversation, period. But I have a feeling that a week from today, we're going to be sitting here talking about another tie atop the NFC South. I think, yeah, more likely than not, I don't think the Bucs are going to beat the Chargers. There's a lot of injuries that we're talking about this week. And I think the Falcons are going to find a way to beat a Raiders team that's on their third quarterback, a Raiders team that's 2-11, who haven't won a game, by the way, since late September. And right now, they are in the running for the number 1 overall pick, and all these rumors about Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders maybe as a package deal, maybe going to the Raiders, who are partially owned, by the way, by Tom Brady. We know that. But I think Shedeur Sanders has a much better chance of going to the Raiders than his father does. I don't think it's a package deal necessarily. By the way, speaking of which, what the hell's going on with Bill Belichick in North Carolina? Now the reports are is they basically have sort of agreed to terms, but North Carolina officials and their athletic department have to agree to Bill Belichick's terms. And apparently there's a mile-long list of demands, which includes his son taking over the program, in case he's there for a couple of years. All right, I think I want to go do something else. Give it to my son, Steve. Really? Bill Belichick must not have, and look, this happens all the time in the NFL and in sports, by the way. His agent has absolutely been in contact with NFL teams. And he must not be getting positive vibes about how many teams might actually be interested. If he gives up his delusion that he can still, control personnel matters, if he gives that up, then I think more teams would be interested. But judging by what's happening right now, and Bill talking to the University of North Carolina multiple times, and basically it sounds like if they agree to his list of demands, he's probably going to be their next head coach. And my thing is, why? Why would you go to North Carolina? Why? Because it appears his agent is getting vibes and feelers that are not so positive from NFL teams. And Bill is still stubborn about wanting to control the draft and all the personnel decisions without any help. Then maybe he won't get another job. Maybe that's why he is talking to North Carolina. That's got to be it. Because I know his agent is probably calling around and maybe he's not getting the type of feelers that we thought he would get at this point. So we'll be watching that very, very closely. 888-546-4620. All right, we'll take a break. Got traffic coming up on your ride home. We're going to let you know about all the great routes and not so great routes and accidents and everything else. And Thomas, I see you there. I'll get you on the other side. Also, when we come back, fill in the blank. Bill Belichick would take a college job over an NFL job because of blank. That is next here on The Drive.
You're tuned in to The Drive with TKras.
This holiday season, guys, make her jaw drop. And you can do it over at the Golden Diamond Source, the perfect place to shop for Christmas. They've got the perfect piece to show her. She's one of a kind. Looking for a gift that says forever? Stunning engagement rings, diamond bracelets, and more can be had at the Golden Diamond Source because she deserves the best. Don't settle for anything less than perfection. At the Golden Diamond Source, we make it easy to give her the gift that she will never forget. The Golden Diamond Source has experts that will help you find the perfect gift this holiday season for everyone without dealing with all that mall madness. Forget about that. At the Golden Diamond Source, get there. They've got a friendly staff. They're going to help you find something that's perfect, from statement necklaces to elegant diamond earrings. They'll help you wrap up that gift as well. The Golden Diamond Source is the only place to shop for that holiday gift of a lifetime. And guys, you can also finance your purchase with 0% interest up to 5 years. You get a $5,000 diamond for only $84 a month. Visit the Golden Diamond Source today, where you'll find the perfect gift this holiday season. They're at 3800 Omerton Road in Clearwater, or always online at
You're on the Drive with TKras. Presented by Moss Nissan on WDAE.
Let's play a game called Fill in the Blank. I kick a rhyme for you to listen and think.
Fill in the blank.
Yeah, man, you don't know what time it is, dog. It's time for Fill in the Blank. We do this each and every Tuesday at 4:30. Presented by my guys over at California Closets of Tampa Bay. Great to see them, by the way. My guy Kenny, his wonderful staff. They were here for the Klein Christmas party last week. They're awesome people. They did my garage once upon a time. Garage, closet, pantry, entertainment center. They do tremendous work. Hit them up at California Closets, Tampa Bay. They bring you Fill in the Blank. So does my guy, Chris Mathis.
All right, Tampa Bay. And Tom, you were, as a Mets fan growing up, you were blessed with a belated birthday gift as Juan Soto signed that deal with the New York Mets. That contract is simply blank.
Oh, my gosh. Where's my money, bitch? That's basically what he said to the Yankees. And the Yankees said, hey, we ain't going higher than 760. He's like, okay, I'll go for 765. He went to the highest bidder. That contract is outrageous. And I'll be the first one to admit it. But here's another thing. It ain't my money. Why the hell do I care? Okay?
All right, big man. You want to make some big bucks. Let's see how tough you are.
Do you know how to play right field at Citi Field? Dígame. What, you kidding me, man, or what? So, look, it's a great deal for the Mets. I mean, they get one of the best young hitters in all of baseball. And who cares how much it costs? Yeah, the contract is outrageous, but there is no salary cap. Steve Cohen can do whatever he wants. He's got more money than you can possibly imagine. Of course it's an outrageous contract, and we knew it was going to be. I had it at 12 years, over $700 million. And ended up being 15 for 765, and we had John Smoltz on the show yesterday. By the way, tremendous interview. You better go back and listen to it. 953WDA.com. Click on the Drive commercial-free podcast. Any interviews you may have missed, you can catch it there through the iHeartRadio app. You can also check it out as well.
No doubt about it. And Tom, we know that the Yankees were also in play to maybe get him back. They had a bit of a bidding war. The Mets won that one out. Of the Yankees and the Mets, blank has a better roster right now.
I think it's the Mets because they took away two of the Yankees' better players. They also took Clay Holmes from the Yankees, who was a dominant reliever. The Mets are converting him into a starting pitcher. We'll see how that works out. And they just took Juan Soto from them. Now, the Yankees still have Aaron Judge. He's still a wonderful player, a top 5 player in Major League Baseball. I don't think Juan Soto is as well-rounded as Aaron Judge is, but he's also 6 years younger than Aaron Judge. So I think the Mets right now have the better roster.
Continuing with Major League Baseball and your Tampa Bay Rays, the Rays will blank outdoors at Steinbrenner Field this season.
They'll be sweating their asses off outdoors.
Yeah,
at Steinbrenner Field. I mean, there's no doubt about that, Kevin Cash. I mean, I'm just, telling the truth. And
even though you everything we do.
Not everything. You're going to be sweating your asses off, those July nights. And there's a reason why Major League Baseball had to step in and they front-loaded the Rays' schedule with all those home games, and they back-loaded it with the road games through the rainy months and the hot, sweltery, rainy nights. And days, too, by the way.
The Rays' stadium situation is blank.
It's exhausting, to be quite honest. And it's a topic that I've done thousands of hours on over the course of 15-plus years, the 20-plus years that I've now been here in the Tampa Bay area. And I think we all want some closure to it. I think we all know that the Rays staying here is best for everybody, including the Rays, by the way. Major League Baseball feels that way, too. But the constant back and forth and the he said, she said, and you got to come up with money. Who's got the money? Maybe it's here. Maybe it's Tampa. No, it's in Pinellas. It is exhausting. That is the word.
The NFC South so far this year, Tom, as we approach where the Buccaneers are at, first place in this division has been blank.
It's been as expected because the NFC South is a lousy division, and it's going to take, I think 9-8 is probably going to win this division. I don't think the Bucs or the Falcons are going to win 10 games. I really don't think so. I think the Buccaneers are probably going to lose 2 more games. I think they'll lose the Chargers game, and they may very well lose the Cowboys game. Carolina's certainly playing better.
Yeah, rough one, right?
It has been.
If you lost to the Bucs.
Yeah, and look, they should have beaten the Bucs a couple of weeks ago. So that second meeting, the Bucs had better not take them lightly, because I think they kind of did the first time around. I think 9-8 is going to win this division. It's a lackluster division.
Of the wide receivers and the running backs this year, Tom, for the Buccaneers, blank has been the most impressive, considering, you look at Bucky Irving and Sean Tucker, Rashad White, they've done a great job. But also knowing you haven't had Chris Godwin for a lot of time, with Mike Evans together a lot of time. Of those two, considering the circumstances, what has been the bigger deal?
The running backs, absolutely, hands down, have been the bigger deal. And not many people are giving Rashad White a lot of praise, but I'm going to do that here because I think he's done a tremendous job. Look, I think we all believe that Bucky Irving, when healthy, is the most talented running back and the centerpiece of that running game. But, Rashad White has really contributed in a big way. He's their best pass protector. He catches the ball really well. And look, he is coming up with some very big runs in the run game as well. He had that big run to set up the game-winning field goal in Carolina. He scored 2 touchdowns. He had over 100 yards from scrimmage against the Raiders. I think Rashad White's done a good job. I think Bucky Irving, obviously, is a keeper. And when given the opportunity, we've seen Sean Tucker make some major contributions as well.
Now, Mike Evans has 590 receiving yards this year, 410 yards short of 1K on the year. Give me a number. Mike Evans will finish with blank receiving yards this season.
Oh, my gosh.
I know. We gotta throw out a number, though.
He's got to average over 100 yards per game, and he can do it. Look, Chargers are going to be tough, but Dallas, as you saw last night, Jamar Chase is running up and down the field on them. He had 2 big touchdowns. I think he can go over 100 against them. He went over 100 against Carolina. He should be able to do that again. And New Orleans doesn't have Marshawn Lattimore. I think he ends up with 990 yards. Watch.
Oh, no. That close?
I'm telling you, man.
Kind of like Rashad White. How many yards short was he?
10. I think he was 10. I think he was 10 yards short. Like was he 990 or something like that? I think he was 10 yards short.
He was in that ballpark, yeah.
And I just have this sneaky feeling that the same thing's going to happen to Mike. Mike is going to have to put up 150 yards in one of these games to try and make it a little more easier, more likelier, rather, than he gets there. So, but he's I don't know if the Chargers defense is really good. By the way, it was 990 from a year ago.
And that's weird you threw out that number for Mike. Uh-oh. I think 150 is a little low. He needs a 175 game in there, Tom.
Yeah, he needs a big game. It's got to be a 150-plus game, one of these last games, in order for him to get there. I still would not bet against him, but I think he's going to be right around 1,000, 990 to 1,000.
All right, final one. Fill in the blank here on the Tuesday edition of The Drive. Sunday's game out in L.A. comes down to blank.
Not turning the ball over. And if Baker Mayfield turns it over 3 times this week, you got away with it against a 2-11 Raiders team. You're not going to get away with it this week against Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers, who play really good defense. They've got Joey Bosa. They've got Khalil Mack rushing off the edge. Derwin James is a tremendous defensive back. If you turn it over this week 2 or 3 times, forget it. You're not going to win.
All right, there you have it, Tampa Bay. That is fill in the blank right here on The Drive. I didn't like that number, 990 for Mike Evans, but hey, you know what? Maybe you'll be proved wrong, Tom.
I hope Mike could get to 1,000 because I think it's a wonderful benchmark and a milestone, and I still think it's doable. But, he's got to come up with, 400? You got 4 games left. What is it, 490? What does he have?
Yeah, he's 410 short, so just over 100.
He needs 410 in 4 games. It's still doable. He just has to stay healthy. He's got a shot. It's going to be close. Fill in the blank, presented by California Closets of Tampa Bay. Organize and upgrade your living space with California Closets. Head on over to CaliforniaClosetstampaBay.com for inspiration. A lot of interesting texts are rolling in. $34. Somebody texted in. I read somewhere that Juan Soto will make $34 per second for the next 15 years. Yeah. I mean, you can break it down a lot of different ways, but he was also given a $75 million signing bonus, and apparently one of the main reasons why he picked the Mets over the Yankees is the Mets, obviously, they went to 765, and the Yankees were at 760, and the Mets also offered to give him a suite for every game for his family, and the Yankees didn't do that. Wow. And look, again, that the red flag was 15 minutes after they lost the World Series. And I told my brother this, who's a Yankee fan, and he didn't want to believe me. Now, there's a reason why I do what I do. And I told him, that is a red flag. He opened himself up. He said, okay, I'm open for business. 15 minutes after you lost the World Series, you could have said, well, I haven't thought about that yet, which would be a lie. But you can't put that vibe out there unless you're really looking forward to going someplace else. And that's the vibe I got from Juan Soto. All right, when we come back, you got Buccaneer Total Access with Todd Bowles at 5 o'clock. Final thoughts, the final drive, and a look ahead to a big show tomorrow, an even bigger show on Thursday and Friday. That is next year on The Drive.
You're locked in to The Drive with TKras.
Guys, they helped me out after Hurricane Milton, and now with all of that behind us, you can get your home ready for the holidays with my guys over at Green Tech Roofing and Solar. They're the #1 roofing solution in Tampa Bay. They offer free inspection. So if you're in need of a new roof, if this roof of yours has sprung a couple of leaks from all of the storms that we've had, these are the guys you need to call. Why? Because they're locally owned, licensed, and trusted by the Tampa Bay community. Beware of those out-of-market companies that take advantage of residents and people that go, door to door. They knock on, hey, you want us to fix your roof? No, don't go for those guys. Go to Green Tech. They've done this for many years. They're trusted. They're reputable. They're licensed. Depending upon the size of your home, Green Tech can have your roof completed in a single day and take care of all of that cleanup for you. They do residential and commercial, and they have over 400 five-star reviews. So do what I did. Call Green Tech. You won't be disappointed. Hit them up online. In fact, greentechroofing.com. You can schedule
DAE and AM 620. The Final Drive.
I think there are major flaws with the college football playoff format. Look, I love the fact that there are 12 teams involved. I think once you open it up, you get more teams in. I think it generates even more interest and more dollars, and that's what it's really all about, right? But in terms of the format itself, if you're a number one team like Oregon, what's the incentive? I mean, they got to face the winner of Tennessee, Ohio State. They should face the lowest remaining seed from the first round of games. Georgia has an easier path as a number 2 seed, and you can question that maybe Arizona State. I mean, what if Clemson beats Texas and Arizona State has a much easier path in round number 2? And the other thing is this: just because you win your conference tournament doesn't mean you should get an automatic bye. And that's the case with Boise State. They have a wonderful player in Ashton Genty, but the fact that they're the number 3 seed with a strength of schedule like in the 80s is laughable. They need to switch this around, okay? If you win your conference tournament, yes, you should be one of the 12, but you should reseed all these teams and not necessarily get a first-round bye. Fix it, man.
The Final Drive.
Guys, this holiday season, you can make her jaw drop at the Golden Diamond Source. They've got the perfect piece to show her she's one of a kind. If you're looking for that gift that says forever, you can find stunning engagement rings, diamond bracelets, and more at the Golden Diamond Source, because she deserves the best. Don't settle for anything less than perfection. At the Golden Diamond Source, they make it easy to give her the gift that she will never forget. The Golden Diamond Source experts will work with you to find that perfect gift for everyone without dealing with any of that mall madness. They've got a friendly staff. They're going to help you find something perfect. They're going to wrap that gift for you and make it look real nice, Clark. From statement necklaces to elegant diamond earrings, the Golden Diamond Source is the only place to shop for that gift of a lifetime this holiday season. And you can finance your purchase with 0% interest up to 5 years. You get a $5,000 diamond for only $84 a month. Visit the Golden Diamond Source today, where you always find the perfect gift this holiday season. 3800 Omerton Road in Clearwater. Always online at goldendiamond.com. Tell them TKras sent you. All right, we got a big show coming up tomorrow. Barrett Salee, Would You Rather? We're working on another very special guest for tomorrow's show. Don't forget, Thursday, we're going to be at Moss Nissan in Newport Richey from 3 until 7 on Thursday. Mike Florio from ProFootballTalk.com, managed by Freddie Blassie, will be with us on Thursday's show. One phone call before we get out of here. Thomas is in Safety Harbor. Welcome in, Tommy.
Hi.
Hi. How you doing,
How you
bud?
doing?
Great.
Good. You got the same name as me, Tom. We get along great.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think I was talking to a guy at the Wing House last night, and he started talking about the Juan Soto deal, and I'm like, can he steal bases or pitch? And he shut up real quick. But anyways, the thing is, with the Rays, I'd like to see Manfred make Sternberg sell the team to an ownership group that would actually spend money on the team. Because I'm from Seattle originally, and I know how cheap the Mariners are, and it seems like the Rays are the same way. You know what I mean? It's like get an ownership group in place that'll actually spend money on the team and try to make them competitive. You know what I mean?
Like how much money?
But go on. I'll let you take it. Yeah.
How much money do you think they should be spending on the team? Without a new stadium, with the attendance?
I mean, just an ownership group that like actually was competitive for free agents. You know what I mean?
Well, look,
because it seems like.
And Thomas,
go ahead. Sorry.
I appreciate the phone call. I'm up against it, and I appreciate the call. And look, I find it interesting that a lot of people seem to discredit or forget the fact that once upon a time, the Rays offered Aaron Judge $300 million. They offered Freddie Freeman $150 million. Did you forget about that? The Rays can't offer what the Mets just gave Juan Soto. It's never going to happen. Ever. Now, could they go over $100 million? Probably, but that would cut into their profit margins. Look, a lot of you don't know business, okay? I want to talk to somebody who owns a business. And the way you make money in this world is you keep expenditures low and keep the money coming in high. And the Rays have found a way to do that. And, oh, by the way, still make the playoffs. They haven't won a World Series, but they've been to 2 World Series in a very competitive American League East. Now, forget it. I mean, with the hurricane, there is no Trop. Their profit margins, their revenues aren't going to be as high. They're not going to spend as much. They went out and got Danny Jansen, which was terrific. But I don't think you're going to see much else. They're going to have to make a trade for somebody who's under team control, somebody who can hit. And that is the one move to watch for at the winter meetings. All right, now thanks to Greg Auman. We'll be back tomorrow, 3 o'clock with Barrett Sallee and so much more. Awesome job, Chris Mathis. Buccaneer Total Access is coming up next. You're dismissed.
Come on, get out of here.
Smoke and mirrors. Smoke and mirrors.